Okay. Hi, everybody. Nice, wonderful, fantastic, weird evening between rain, snow, and sleet, no matter where you are, except in Texas, of course, it's in the 70s. But anyway, I have a couple of announcements I want to share with you. I do want to mention the fact that this is the last Wednesday lecture for the year. We'll be starting the series up again on January the 6th of next year, and we'll be doing the series on addictions. And I'll be covering all the different addictions, what they are, and basically how they're connected to the root addiction of codependency. And then also about the recovery process and how it works. So we'll take you on a journey there starting in January. In February, I'll be doing the grief, loss, and separation series. So those new schedules are on the website. You can check them out if you want to. Do want to mention, though, that on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve at 12 noon, I'm going to do kind of a special spiritual program based on Christmas. You're welcome to join us at 12 noon on Christmas Eve. And basically the Zoom numbers and were sent out an email, and they're also on the website, and I'll also put them on Facebook too. So then the same thing on New Year's Eve at 12 noon. We're going to do a special spiritual program for the new year. So you're welcome to join us for that and be part of that with us also, okay? I also want to mention that we don't have a basket, but we also send some mailings out. If you can help us out at this season, please feel free to do so. And you can do so on our website too, okay? So, and also all the things we recorded so far and all the series are on the website, and they're under Vince's Corner if you want to check them out, okay? All right. I want to begin tonight by doing the reading, and I picked the one from Each Day New Beginning, the other meditation book for women, and I picked the one from December 29th. Kindness and intelligence don't always deliver us from the pitfalls and traps. There is no way to take the danger out of human relationships. Relationships with other people are necessary to escape loneliness. However, relationships do not guarantee freedom from pain. Nurturing a meaningful relationship with another human being takes patience, even when we don't have it. It takes tolerance, even if we don't feel it. It takes selfishness. At those very moments, our own ego is crying for attention. Yet we need relationships with others. They inspire us. We learn who we are, who we can become through relationships. Our creativity is encouraged by them, and so is our emotional and spiritual development. We can look around us attentively. We can feel blessed, even if it's a negative situation. Every situation is capable of inspiring a positive step forward. Every situation is meant for our good. There's a risk in human relationships, and it's often accompanied by pain, but I am guaranteed growth. I will find the happiness I seek. I will reach out to someone today. I wanted to share that reading because it kind of covers a lot of areas I want to talk about tonight. And I want to kind of begin this series, this little talk on the holidays and relationships by sharing something that's at starting point. If you come into our reception area, there is a beautiful, beautiful mosaic, a beautiful quilt that was put together. And it was put together by so many of our members of our ISA program, people that went through some sort of incest or sexual abuse. Each one of them took their hand and made a pattern for the quilt. And so the whole entire quilt are hand markings of all the different people that were connected. And I always love looking at that because it has such a powerful history and a connection to the concept of struggle they went through and the gift of recovery they have today. And so tonight, what I would like to do is something similar to that. I would like you to work with me on creating your own collage or your own mosaic. You can actually do it on paper. You can connect it if you want to and do your blocks, but it's something we can work on together. Because when I talk about relationships, I always talk about the relationship we have with ourselves, which is primary, And then our interconnection with others, our learning and our growing from all the people we meet in the course of our journey in life. And especially this time of the year, we come to the holidays, because even more special, looking at what we're going through right now and the changes and things that are happening in our society. And as a result, then we too have to make changes. And so what I want you to do is look at different words and different concepts as we go through this. And all of them are important because they all interconnect us to relationships. Because relationships really are the gifts of life. They're where we actually take our recovery show and our life on the road by interconnecting with other people around us. I tell my young interns and counselors that are coming in, because they're really very excited about working with people. And I say, try to remember something. Every person that comes through that door is your new teacher. They are coming into your life to help you, to teach you something about yourself. And I truly believe that honesty and that humility is the key to so many things in the course of our journey. And so as we look at this time of the year, we have to make some major adjustments, but some things I don't want us to lose. For example, one of the words I want you to look at this time of the year is the word fantasy. And the fantasy around Christmas time, the fantasy of this time of the year is centralized around the concept of magic in Christmas. And again, for a few minutes, allow yourself to go back and be a little child and have that childlike concept of the holidays and be able just to realize there's a little child inside of each and every one of us. So we need to sometimes activate that little kid and be able to play and celebrate and feel the magic. I always love this time of the year watching the Polar Express, watching all those wonderful magical shows that are connected. And what's so beautiful about it is it activates the magic inside of me. And by the way, fantasy is okay. We need a little bit of it in our life, even though basically we have to be aware that it is a fantasy. And that's okay too. That's why one of the ways I love taking a break every once in a while and watching a Hallmark movie. I love Hallmark. I understand what it's all about. Because why I love it, because right at the first 3 minutes of the movie, I can tell you exactly how it's going to end. Everything's predictable. And we live in a world today where nothing is predictable. Sometimes we need a little bit of fantasy that's predictable to help us get through some of the struggles and things we're going through right now. But that fantasy also has to be tempered with another piece of the mosaic called reality. We have to live in reality. Now, I can look at reality in one of two ways. I can look at it through the eyes of despair, or I can look at it through the eyes of learning and through the eyes of growing. And I have to realize over and over again that reality brings me into the reality of the world, which means I got to be ready then to make adjustments. Now, all of us know this particular holiday season of 2020, we are definitely making adjustments. There's so many different adjustments. Like earlier, Betsy and I were talking about our Christmas tree. And the concept was, so many people are saying, I'm not going to put it up this year. And yet we have to put it up. We have to maintain the spirit. And sometimes we have to maintain the spirit even when there's struggle going on. And struggle is another part of the mosaic. Very many times I meditate back and I think about my parents. I think about many of your parents and things they went through in the course of their journey in life. My father went through 2 world wars. He went through a depression. He went through all kinds of struggles. And yet, he was able to come through them, was able to be able to understand them. He was able to adjust to them. I learned so much from studying from others. I'm realizing today we are being taught some powerful lessons right now. But along with those lessons comes some joy and some sadness. Sadness over the fact that many people this year are going to have an empty chair in their house. Many people are going through a lot of struggle. Over 300,000 deaths have taken place from this disease. And there's sadness involved in that. But at the same time, we have to realize that sadness has to be somehow eventually migrated into a way of joy, a way of growth. And so, yes, they've gone from us, but now maybe they are our angels, and maybe they're our teachers, and hopefully we can learn and grow from them. And so the mosaic has a place for them, a very special place for them, for people we've lost, not just from the disease. We also have lost people from drug addiction. We lost people from different things in life, and even people that died normal deaths. It's part of the journey. To realize the fact that even the concept and each one of those mosaic pieces is so important because it's all part of the journey. But also, as part of the mosaic, we have to learn how to be more creative. I mean, I know it's just creating more creativity in my own life, ways in which we're going to celebrate. You know, my wife and I talk about this because we're going to celebrate just the two of us together. And we'll have to visit our kids and visit our grandkids and visit them on Zoom. That's why I'm glad to be a Zoomer now, because I get to see everybody and get connected with everybody. I get to see all of you. I get to be part of your life and part of your journey. And that's exciting because it means that very basically I've got to be creative in the way in which I face life and deal with life. And we're constantly in the process of being creative and developing new ways of handling things and dealing with things. And it means then I also have to have another one of those beautiful little parts of the mosaic. I have to have an open mind. I have to be open to new ways and new concepts of doing things. So maybe I'm not going to be able to be with people when they open their presents, but I can be with them through technology. So I have to learn how to adjust and go in different directions. And I can very easily get caught up in depression and anxiety. I can get caught up in despair, but I have to be able to move to the other side. That's where I've got to have some joy, some celebration. I got to blend these things together, which are really important. And if I do, then I'll experience another part of the mosaic. I'll experience growth. See, I really believe very deeply, and we talk about relationships, all these situations that are occurring in our life are helping us to grow and become a stronger as a person. And we have to go through turmoil sometimes to experience that. I've learned over and over again that struggle is part of the journey and struggle is part of life. Every one of us in this room has what I call battle scars. I call them glorious scars because basically it means you've gone through the battle and you're still here and you're still doing what you need to do. And sometimes we get confused and we go through changes because the other part of the mosaic is to allow yourself to be human, allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to realize the fact that you're going to have disagreements, that all of us can be part of a family and still think differently, be different people. Each of us has our own truth, has our own way of thinking. And why do we connect with other people? Because we're going to learn from their truth, and they'll help me with mine. We're going to discover from one another. It's great that we live in a world where there's differences. It's scary sometimes. Sometimes we have to realize the fact that's part of it too. But at the same time, we have to realize and be open to listen and keep learning and keep growing, which is a big part of this. But also realize the fact that along with this, we learned this in our program, comes a sense of trust, a sense of faith, a sense of belief, a sense that somehow, some way, there's something mystical and something powerful and something spiritual guiding us on the course of our journey. And that's so important because that's the concept of love that we have, which is an important part of the concept we're going through in life. And so we have to realize over and over again this value, this gift that we have, and be open to it. And to realize the importance of looking at this holiday season around the people that we are connected to, either in intimate ways, being with them, or being connected to them through other ways in technology. But to realize the fact, look at these holidays, but look at them with a positive attitude. Look at them through learning, but realize something about every one of them. They were all formed through struggle. Hanukkah experiences the lighting of the candles. And that was the basic idea of the oil and people being able to slowly but surely work with the temple. They had to struggle through this. Everything is part of struggle. The birth of Christ in Christmas took place during the time when Herod, they were fleeing. They were trying to find to get away from the, the, the struggle, turmoil, and the stuff that was going on. And so many people were being killed. And they got rejected. They got abandoned. They ended up in a stable. And the story is so beautiful because it touches us that deep down inside, there is still a little child that will lead us. There's something more powerful. I always look at that beautiful concept of the stable as the rooms of recovery, the gifts that we have together. And sometimes they're humble and sometimes they're simple. And yet that's really what it's all about. One beautiful thing about life, it humbles you. And humility is a key to everything that we do. And every time we think that we really have the answers to things, then we discover later on the questions. Isn't that wonderful about life? So there really is no perfect answer to life. There's no perfect way. There's the struggle we have to go through. We even have Santa Claus with us tonight. It's totally amazing. Wayne keeps doing this act of changing faces all the time. It's fantastic. You look good that way, Wayne. Keep it. Don't come back. Okay. But I love this concept because we also have to have a sense of humor. Got to laugh at one another. I talked about that last week about leaving laughing sometimes when it's not funny. That's the beautiful thing about relationships because you're around other human beings. If you're in a special relationship with somebody, we're different. We're not the same. Who wants to be the same? Not boring it would be to be with somebody where you're exactly the same all the time. There'd be no excitement in that. And that's why it's so beautiful. We look at this concept of recovery because we realize the fact that there's so many different ways, diversity, different concepts, different ways of life. That is so exciting and so beautiful. You come right down to it. And that's why I think it's so important in the course of our journey to kind of look at another beautiful part of this beautiful mosaic we're putting together. And that is to have an open mind, to realize the fact, because even with the celebration of Kwanzaa, to be able to be grateful for our abundance, for the gifts that we have, for the homes that we have. We take so many things for granted so many times. And the people from Kwanzaa have gone through struggle too, to be able to understand their culture and their background. And we have gone through this struggle in our own life too. So I'm learning over and over again that any relationship that we have with life, with individuals, with people, we learn different things. As the reading said tonight, you may learn tolerance, you may learn patience, you may learn different things in the course of your journey. And my father tried to teach this to me so many times. I remember when I was a young college kid, and in the summertime, I used to work for my father, and basically that was a mistake. And then I also worked on a section gang later on in my life, when I came home from the seminary. And my father would always tell me and give me a gift when I went back to school. He'd give me a rock, just a big old rock. He said, take this to school with you, put it on your desk. Anytime you don't want to study, look at the rock and remember how you had to use a pick and a sledgehammer to break that sucker. Keep studying. He taught me about pain. He taught me about struggle. You know what's so crazy about all that? That relationship was so beautiful in my life, but it took me to my later years to finally be able to accept it and understand it and say thank you. Is that amazing how we are human beings sometimes because our ego takes over? We fail to see the beautiful lessons of the people right around us and the things that are going on. So even what's going on right now in the course of our world, I can look at it negatively or I can look at it positively. That's a choice I have. And I have to try to the best of my ability, although I will have my negative moments. We'll go through periods of depression. At the same time, you're going to realize we have to try to come to the other side, come to the learning, come to the growth process. And so it's almost having a vision of looking at this year 2020 through the eyes of sadness, through the eyes of joy, through the eyes of learning, through the eyes of change, through the eyes of new understanding, and realize the fact that over the course of the journey, there's so many things that really, in reality, maybe we'll never understand. And yet, maybe that's what the spice of life really is all about. And so we have to try to the best of our ability to be creative, to be open, to be people of adjustment, but never lose that magic, never lose that fantasy, never lose those beautiful little things deep down inside. So don't lose the child inside of you. You know, we get so busy sometimes being an adult. And I used to love the old timers down at the South Philly group years ago. I mean, they were so simple. God, they were so simple. I love those guys. They looked at life in such a simple way because they've been through a lot. They've been through struggle. And they used to say, what are you worrying about? Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Do the best you can today. You know, and at the end of the day, go to sleep. I still love them. Wake up, go to sleep, do the best you can, and stop worrying. Everything will work out in God's time. Say your prayers, do what you got to do, keep it simple, and stop worrying. You know, it's so crazy sometimes what we do. We get our heads so caught up in so many crazy things. We realize the most beauty we have in life is sitting right next to us. Appreciate the people that you are around, the relationships that you have. Appreciate your grandchildren. Appreciate whoever you have in the course of your journey in your life. Appreciate people in recovery, even those sometimes that aggravate the hell out of you. They're some of your greatest teachers on the face of the earth, right, y'all? It's totally amazing when you come down to it. You learn from them, you grow from them. That's what it's all about. And sometimes we aggravate each other. So what? I'm learning over and over again to look at life, but through a different set of glasses. So I have to realize the fact that somehow, some way, I've got to learn. I got to learn also to be safe, take care of myself, because the ultimate relationship is with me. I have to realize the fact that I've got to do things I have to do. I have to stop trying to be a rebel. I have to wear a mask. I got to socially distance from people. I have to wave at people now instead of hugging them. I got to do this thing called a virtual hug now. I love it. All our meetings, we do it. You know, it goes like this, and then you come, put your arms together like this. It's called a nice virtual hug. It's kind of nice to give myself a hug every so often. It's a good part about it. That makes for life. And so we have a tradition at my home group and my other meetings to give ourselves virtual hugs all the time. You know, and we use hand gestures. We kiss people goodbye. We say so long. All these beautiful little things are so important. And maybe now you meet somebody, you know, you bump an elbow. The other one is a toe touch. I like that one. You know, all these new little gestures we're learning as we go through this pandemic and stuff that's going on around us. And yet I can look at that negatively. I can look at it positive. That's my choice. You know, in life, we have what I call the yin and the yang, the negative and the positive. I have to realize the fact that that's what life is all about. From every negative comes a positive. And yet I'm going to go through loss. I'm going to go through sadness. We all go through that. And I'm going to realize there's some things I can't do. You know, it's sad sometimes that we can't visit. My wife and I talk about this. Visit our kids and have more direct contact with them. It's sad that we can't spend time with my wife's sister, who's in a group home. But we have to do the best we can with it. We have to adjust accordingly. There's all kinds of things we have to do to make adjustments in life. And so what I want you to work on is that beautiful mosaic. Take some time just to sit down, put all these little principles together and make your own mosaic. And if you do draw it up and put it together, have all those wonderful blocks, do me a favor. Either email it to me or send it to me. I would love to see it. I would love to see the mosaic because we are in the process of creating something very beautiful. And it involves all these little elements of life. That's what relationships really are all about. And we have to learn during this time to go through adjustments. Look at nature. Today we had snow, then we had sleet, then we had rain, then we had more snow. And even nature couldn't make its mind up today. I mean, poor Loretta was driving home tonight. She started out in snow, she went into sleet, went into rain, back into snow. The poor car even got confused, didn't know what was going on. It's totally amazing. So Mother Nature's saying, I'll get you. Not a problem at all. I'll keep changing. The old thing, you fool around with Mother Nature, fool around with you. It's all part of life. And so we have to learn from that too. But I can look at that negatively, or I can look at it and laugh a little bit at life. Life throws so many things our way, and I can catch them, learn from them, grow from them, or I can let them hit me right in the head. I got to be aware, and I got to catch them. I got to be able to take the spirit of the season, put your Christmas trees up, decorate, put the lights on, celebrate all the little things of life. That's what's important. Be a kid. Have a little bit of fantasy. Look for the magic. Something out there. And just the magic really is right inside of here. It's your spirit. So we're going to ask God tonight to help us to be able to adjust to life, to adjust to the holidays, to celebrate all these feasts, whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever way you celebrate, to celebrate them with a spirit of worthiness, a spirit of simplicity, a spirit of magic, a spirit of love. Because one of the greatest pieces of that mosaic is the power and the healing energy of love that's inside of each and every one of us. It was given to us by God at the moment of our birth. We have to learn just to be able to share that love with one another. And that can be done in such very simple and beautiful ways by just caring. And so I hope tonight helps you to understand relationships, especially during the holidays. This is a very special time in life. We're saying goodbye to a year that has had a lot of struggles involved in it, and a lot of confusion, and a lot of insanity. But guess what? It was a teachable year. How can we learn from it? And how can we be open to wherever God's going to lead us in the future? And always realize, and just remember, the bottom line is, the ultimate relationship is with the higher power. And that higher power is guiding us in the course of our journey. That's why every day, talk to the God of your understanding, your divine presence, whatever you choose to call it. The name's not important. The secret is to say the other two special words that belong in that mosaic. Help me. Help me on my journey. Help me through the day. And if I do that, everything else will fall into place. And so I want to take this moment just to say to every one of you, I hope we have a very blessed, a very peaceful, a very powerful Christmas, powerful Hanukkah, powerful Kwanzaa, a powerful New Year. And don't forget to leave the cookies out for Santa. Not a problem at all. And maybe we even have plant-based cookies now, which are fantastic. Say, I had to do that for Loretta. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So we have a little bit of each. Santa doesn't mind, by the way. So that's all part of what we have to celebrate together. And so I'm going to ask you to join me. I'm going to just celebrate a prayer to kind of celebrate the concept of what we're going through right now in relationships. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for being able to celebrate it. We ask that in sadness sometimes and in joy we come to you. For you are our creator, you are our guide, you are our strength. Teach us every day to ask for help, ask for guidance, to be open to your will, and to try to understand the best we possibly can in our human way the things we have to go through in life. Teach us to pray for those who have gone before us, for those who have died from this disease we're experiencing. We pray for those who have died in other areas of life. May they all be angels now and be connected with you. And may they be angels for each and every one of us on our journey in life. And sometimes, God, we have to experience things that are painful. Hopefully, with your help and your guidance and the help of others and the people around us, our relationship with one another, we're able to ease the pain and allow growth and recovery to come from it. So we thank you, God, for the gift of life. We thank you for this past year with all of its struggles. And hopefully, as we grow, we can celebrate these holidays in the spirit of your love, in the spirit of openness, in the spirit of joy, understanding behind it all, there is a certain amount of sadness. So feel all those feelings. But as long as you are with us and you guide us, we'll be able to get through them and to celebrate them in your name. And we ask this in your name. We ask for your guidance and direction each and every day of our life with gratitude for all the relationships in our life and realize that they have come in to be our teacher. We pray and we ask this in your name. Amen. Now I'm going to ask that you would unmute yourself and we can all say the we version of the Serenity Prayer together.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done.